What's up, PTB Nation? Welcome to another episode of Parking the Bus Euro Edition. It's episode 50 tonight. This is the 50th Parking the Bus episode. And, well, if you're expecting the normal, incredibly pleasant, chipper me, you're not getting that tonight. Okay. What a day. What a day. Okay. We had some incredible results today. We had Hungary. What can I say about Hungary? Phenomenal results. I told you not to sleep on Germany as well, guys. I was worried about them. I didn't expect that, but I was worried about it. Okay. I thought we were going to get a little more out of it. And there you see right there. And yeah, it's almost as if Fernando Santos wants a third place today, because I'll get into it when we talk about this match, but like there was every substitution he made, none of them addressed the problem. I'll get to it after. But yeah, not to mention Spain. What made me feel a little bit better was watching Spain connect another 2,852 passes and have one goal to show for it, and then allow Robert Lewandowski to equalize. So it could be worse, I suppose. But no, on the reel right here, we got some good news. Came out yesterday, and I didn't mention it yesterday. Christian Eriksen is out of the hospital. Okay, out of observation. So that is good news for him, and good news for everybody. Obviously, will we see him on a football pitch again? I don't know, but. What a day. I was on here last night talking about England, right? And talking about Gareth Southgate, talking about the changes that I thought he should have made, or the changes that he didn't make that I didn't think were the answer. I got a whole load of that about Fernando Santos tonight, okay? And listen, I think I'm being very fair, because a lot of times I find myself defending this man to just about everybody. Okay, I find myself defending him to just about everybody. And, well, I might be on the other side of the coin today, but I'm hoping that through this hour, when we get to that match, I'm gonna sort it out and hopefully get to the problems and offer a solution. One thing I'm not gonna do is use this platform, use these airwaves to come on here and just start calling for a manager's head. Why am I not calling for a sacking? Well, who are we going to get to replace him? That's the first question. You think I want the U21 coach, Rui Jorge? No. Who, Fades and I talked about this earlier this week. The national team managers are different than the club managers. And it's a different job. And a lot of them are not cut out for it, because it's a bit more difficult, because you cannot just go find players you need. Now, Portugal doesn't have that problem. Portugal's problem today was 100% a systematic problem. It was a problem in the system of play. It was a problem in the positioning that I think could have really been solved with just some minor adjustments. That didn't happen. We got another goal from Ronaldo, though. He adds to his his tallies, 12 goals now. And apparently he broke another record today, where he became the all-time assist leader in Euro history. Seems like every time he plays, some other record gets broken. Next game, he'll be the oldest player to ever score on a Wednesday or something like that. Who knows what they're going to come up with, okay? But one thing you can't say is that he didn't play like a captain today. All right. Out of basically nothing, he gave a goal and an assist. Okay. Germany gave up nothing in terms of for him. Okay. And I think, again, coaching could have maybe tweaked a few things there and could have found him in better places. But the major problem was never addressed. Okay. We'll get to that later. Let's start the night on on the first game of the day, okay? And if you don't know by now, this is night 9 or day 9 of Euro 2020. I am the Mr. Mike Agustino, and this is the 9th day in a row you have heard from me. We've been breaking down the matches as the tournament goes on. This is your living audiobook of Euro 2020, okay? That's essentially what this is. Every night is a new chapter, okay? And tonight was the night where the Mr. and by that I'm talking about myself, not about Fernando Santos, finds himself in a different role. All of a sudden, I'm going to be honest, this feels like Mr. Benfica tonight, and I'm going to tell you why. It's just damper. It's the way Mr. Benfica has been for the last 18 months. Okay, it's just a down note. Somber right now. But like I always do, I'm going to break this down, and I'm going to get to it. But first, we're going to go to the Hungary versus France match. I'm going to pull up the information for that right now for you guys. While I do that, make sure you go over to www.parkinthebusmedia.com. Okay, sign the guest book there. Make sure you go to Twitter and to Instagram and follow at PTB_media. And make sure that you go to the YouTube page, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. I need to see more subscribers, people. We got good numbers watching in Periscope, okay? Every night I got good numbers on Periscope. We got to get some subscribers over on YouTube now, okay? Go to YouTube. It's PTB Media Network, all right? The link is in the show notes if I'm not mistaken. Hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it so that you get alerted when Parking the Bus goes live. Okay. So we got Hungary at home again in front of another raucous 67,000 or so, taking on the world champions, the favorites. And to be honest, as much as the romantic in me is thrilled for this result, as a Portugal supporter, this was the worst thing that could happen. I said yesterday, I wanted to see France qualify today. I wanted them going into this final, match day 3, having already qualified. That didn't happen. Hungary spoiled it. All right, congratulations to them, and at the time I was happy, but right now it is not looking good. Hungary and Germany will be an interesting tie on the final day. It'll be the final day of the group stage. Portugal have a lot to figure out before they take the pitch against France. I think France is going to be extra motivated. They haven't forgotten July 11th, 2016. Winning the World Cup does not erase July 11th, 2016. And they'd love nothing more than to send Portugal home in the group stage, something that has never happened to Portugal at the Euros. Every time they have qualified for the Euros, Portugal have advanced out of the group stage. Portugal have lost a total, if I'm not mistaken, of 4 group stage games ever at the Euro. 2004 against Greece. Shout out to Degens United. 2008 against Switzerland after having already advanced. 2012 against Germany. And today against Germany. What is the reoccurring story there? Not that this is a Portugal podcast, so I'm going to try to not continue to go in that direction. But half of all of Portugal's group stage losses in the history of the Euro have been to Germany. Factor in World Cups. Since 2006, Portugal have lost exactly 1 group stage game at the World Cup. Want to take a guess as to who they lost to? Germany. 4-0. It was just like today. All right, let's get into Hungary versus France. That was the early game today, so we're gonna go through this one first. Hungary come out at home, like we said. They are at the Puskás Stadium in Budapest, and the official attendance 55,998, nearly a sellout. I shouldn't say nearly a sellout, nearly a 100% capacity. It was indeed a sellout, but okay. 3-5-2 for Hungary. Peter Gulassi in goal. Andre Botka, Will Orban, and Attila Salai across the back. They're still playing with 3 in the back. And maybe this is something Portugal might want to think about. I don't know. Not going down that rabbit hole, actually. Okay, 5 in midfield. Logic, Nigo, and Attila Fiola are the 2 wingbacks. In the center of midfield, you've got Laszlo Kleinheiser, Adam Nagy, and Andreas Schaffer. Okay, and the strikers are Roland Salai and Adam Shalai. Okay. For France, Didier Deschamps comes out in a 4-3-2-1. Hugo Lloris, obviously the goalkeeper. The 4 across the back. Benjamin Pavard is the right back. Rafael Varane and Presnel Kimpembe, the center back pairing with Lucas Digne as the left back. The trio in midfield is N'Golo Kante anchoring, of course, one of the best players in the world. To his right, Paul Pogba. To his left, Adrien Rabiot. Antoine Griezmann playing in the number 10 position behind Karim Benzema and Kylian Mbappe. What a team. Okay. But I do have to say, it starts out, and I was working this morning, so I did not at first glance see this game until after halftime. I came home at halftime. I got home about halftime. But we go to the first half, okay? And we get a clumsy challenge from Varane on Salai right in the 4th minute, and Hungary have a free kick in a good position. On the left, Salai swings across into the box, but it's a poor one from him. That's cleared by Varane. Okay, in the 10th minute, Benjamin Pavard goes into the referee's book. He caught Salai with a couple of late challenges in the few minutes preceding and earns a yellow card on this one here in the 10th minute. France struggling to find a way to get in behind Hungary, kind of the same struggle Portugal was having earlier this week when they played Hungary. Mbappe has dropped to the halfway line to try and get the ball. Botka quickly across to him, though, and he ends up bringing him down. So in the 12th minute, we get a foul. In the 14th, we got a double save. Mbappe lays it off to Benzema on the edge of the box, and he takes a touch before drilling a low shot towards the far post. Gulassi with a save. He manages to push it away on the stretch, but it goes straight to Antoine Griezmann. And Griezmann hits his shot straight back at the keeper before Orban hooks it clear. France looking comfortable early on, but unable, like it said, to get in behind. Starting to open Hungary up, though, in the 19th, and Digne finds himself in some space down the left, pulls a low cross back to Pogba at the edge of the box, and he can't lay it off for Griezmann as Orban intercepts once again. Okay, so we got an injury now in the 26th minute. The captain, Adam Shalai, has got a concussion. So the concussion protocol put in place now. And he's taken straight down the tunnel by the medical team after going off. And it is Nemanja Nikolic coming on for Adam Shalai. And that is it for the captain. Hungary try to push upfield quickly. A few minutes later, when they win the ball back with Nagy playing a through ball down the left for Salai to chase. Kimpembe goes across to stand his ground, and Kimpembe ends up winning a free kick. 35th minute, sloppy pass from Nigo, gifts the ball back to Mbappe. And he sets off on the counter, squares it to Benzema on the edge of the box, but Hungary quickly get back into their shape and block his pass to Griezmann. Hungary, very, very good in sitting in. Very, very good in cutting passing lanes. Very, very good in cutting shooting lanes. This is something they have done very well now through 180 minutes against 2 of the world's top 6 teams, 2 of the world's top 5 teams. Okay. Kleinheiser goes close in the 43rd. He nicks it off Mbappe and drives it through midfield before it gets switched out to Salai on the left, who tries to curl across into the box to return it to Kleinheiser, but Fiola gets in the way, knocks the ball down and out for a goal kick. The two teammates get in each other's way. In the 45th, Kimpembe's clearance loops up and into the air. Salai doesn't give him any space to bring it down. Digne tries to tidy up by knocking it back to Lloris, and he just manages to clear it before Kleinheiser is there to close him down. But 2 minutes later, 40+2, the world goes into a state of shock. At least the football world. It's a completely against the run of play, but Fiola gets a goal here, and it means France are behind. A poor clearance from Benjamin Pavard, which gifts the ball back to Hungary, and Salai knocks it through the air to Fiola. He gets goal side of Varane before slotting it in the near post. 1-0 to the Hungarians at home, and the 55,000 go absolutely bananas. What a reaction. What a crowd. What a sound to hear a home fan base erupt. Salai's pressure down the left paid off for the hosts as he closed down Pavard and started the move that set Hungary on the counter attack. Good assist for Roland Salai. Let's take it to halftime. Hungary took a shock 1-0 lead over France into halftime. The visitors dominated the first half and created some great chances, but Gulacsi made a great double save to deny Benzema and Griezmann early before Mbappe sent an unmarked header wide of the far post. France were made to rue those missed chances in stoppage time, though, as Pavard's mistake gifted possession back to Hungary, which led to Fiola's slotting the ball past Lloris. France look rattled in the final moments of the first half of the stoppage time after Hungary's goal. Deschamps going to be unhappy with this, especially after their dominance in the first 45 minutes. And they created some good chances, but they haven't been in clinical form in front of goal. Rossi, on the other hand, the manager of Hungary, will be delighted with the result as it stands. Hungary have dealt with France's attacks fairly well and now have a lead to protect them after the break. Second half. All right. And Pogba cuts down inside from the left, and he manages to get a yard of space away from Schaefer as he slips just as he hits the shot, and it sends the shot just wide of the far post. Very frustrated was Paul Pogba on this one, as he had a good chance to equalize, had a good chance here, and if his plant foot hadn't have slid out from under him, I think he might have hit the frame with this one. But as it was, his foot slid and his shot went wide. 52nd minute, Andre Abotka goes in the book for sliding in late on Mbappe from behind, shown the yellow card. Deschamps decides to make a substitution in the 57th minute. Ousmane Dembele's day begins. He comes on, replacing Adrien Rabiot, and France start gaining some momentum. And in the 59th, Dembele drives forward down the right. The substitute cuts inside before wrong-footing two Hungary defenders to open up space, drilling a shot at the near post. Gulacsi is beaten, but it bounces back off the woodwork. France's frustration still on show here in the 63rd minute. They're trying to force things when they get into the final third. Griezmann swings a hopeful deep cross into the box, but it's over everyone's head and out for a goal kick. Salai is causing France all sorts of problems with his runs in behind, and he's driving down the left again. Pavard gets across to cut him off and gives away a free kick, but it comes to nothing. But then the moment comes for Les Bleus, okay, the French team going forward, and it is Antoine Griezmann coming up with the equalizer. Lloris, I like this goal, and here's what I like about this goal. It took about 3.6 seconds for this ball to get from Hugo Lloris into the attacking third, into the back of the net to equalize. Lloris Goes long, and Mbappe's pressure on the goal pays off as he opens up space to square it to the middle of the box. Orban can't get contact when he wants to clear it. This all comes off of a poor clearance. And again, it all comes off of the long ball going over the top. And this is going to be a theme because I'm going to talk about this in the next game. We talked about this also in France versus Germany earlier this week. It forces the defenders to rotate and face their own goal. And when you get the opposition's defense facing their own goal, good things happen for you as an attacker. This one, it forces Orban as he's trying to clear it. He's unable to open his hips correctly and unable to get enough force behind the ball to clear it away from danger. Instead, he pops it right out to Antoine Griezmann, who makes no mistake and smashes it into the netting. 1-1. Les Bleus are on the board. Antoine Griezmann with the goal. And France's confidence returns after this goal, okay? Dembele pushing forward down the right again. He skips away from Schäfer's challenge in the 68th before being brought down by Shalai. 69th, it's a great chance as Griezmann is standing over the free kick on the right. Curls a great cross over the top for Mbappe at the near post. He sticks out a leg to hit the shot first time, but can only pick out the side netting. Griezmann's goal was his 7th at the Euros, and only Cristiano Ronaldo and Michel Platini have scored more goals at the Euros than Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann with 7, Platini with 9. Cristiano Ronaldo at the time of this goal was with 11. We know now that he has 12. And Antoine Griezmann is your 3rd all-time leading scorer in Euro history. Dembele pulls away in the 73rd from Fiola down the right again, drills a dangerous cross to the near post, which Shalai pokes away. He gets it to Griezmann, who knocks it to Kante, who just before he's fouled, the midfielder fires a shot just wide. Substitutions now for both teams here in the 76th minute. First, it's Hungary sending on Tamas Seri as he replaces Andreas Schaffer, while France send on Corentin Tolisso and Olivier Giroud for Karim Benzema and Paul Pogba. So, 2 substitutions there. France patiently waiting to open Hungary up as they've got all their players sitting deep, and it's worked out to Dembele on the right. He loops a deep cross into the far post, but it's headed away by Orban. Griezmann can't find any space in the 80th down the left. He switches the play out to Dembele, who is on the opposite flank. 2 Hungary defenders quickly close him down and manage to block his cross. France starting to push, starting to threaten. Hungary retreating more and more here as we enter the final 10 minutes of the match. Another substitution made by Rossi, and it is Jergo Lovrencic entering the match, replacing Laszlo Kleinheiser. And a few minutes later, in the 87th minute, it's one of those moments that no player likes to. It's one of those situations no player likes to be in. Thomas Lemar comes on. Ousmane Dembele, who was subbed on a half hour earlier, is now subbed off in the 87th. Looks like Dembele, who was brought on, is struggling with a muscle injury, and he goes off with Thomas Lemar coming on in his place. Frustrating day, no doubt, for Ousmane Dembele. Now, Lemar spots Griezmann pulling away from Botka on the left, tries to switch play out to him, but he cuts inside too early, which gives Lovrencic time to get back and clear the danger. In the 90th +3, it's a heavy first touch from Kante, who makes Fiola think he can win the ball, but he slides in late on the midfielder, and France have a dangerous free kick just near the byline on the right. Griezmann swings it in, but Gulacsi is there again to punch it away. One last close one here in the 90th +5. France goes close as Digne swings another cross into the box from the left. Varane rises the highest in the middle to meet it. He glances his header on, but he sends it wide of the far post. And the final whistle goes, a share of the spoils to each team. Hungary get an all-important point because they are still alive now. They're going to go into their final match against Germany. In Germany, however, they're not going to be playing in front of their loyal fan base in match day 3. They're traveling to Munich to take on Germany, and they have to win if they want to advance. Let me say right now, for the record, I hope they don't win. No offense, Hungary. Although, maybe I should hope they win because, listen, if they get 4 points, they're going to go through most likely. They're going to make up that 3 goal difference, though, will probably come back to hurt Hungary. That -3 goal difference. They still have a -3 goal difference. And if it's between them and Portugal for third place, Portugal have the head-to-head. Okay. So they're going to need help in match day 3 as well from France. They're going to need to win and hope that France wins. Very simple. Okay. But overall, a good match for Hungary here in front of their home fans. France come from behind to earn a 1-1 draw with Hungary. France dominated the first half, but Benzema and Mbappe both missed some great chances. A mistake at the back allowed Hungary to counter, and Fiola gave them a shock 1-0 lead at the break. France struggled in the second half, but did manage to find the equalizer after Griezmann fired in Orban's poor clearance. Varane had a late chance to win it, but it went wide of the post in the final seconds. France go top of the group in Group F. Okay, a couple of statistics from this one. Let's take a look at it. Possession, 66.5% to France to 33.5% to Hungary. Total shots, 15-5 in favor of Les Bleus. Chances created, 12 for France, 6 for Hungary. Accurate passes, 589 to 267. So France doubled up Hungary in passes completed, and that's all you need to know about that stat because the match finished 1-1. Yes, it's important to complete passes. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of passes in a game of football that do not produce anything other than having seconds tick off the clock. France won in corners as well. They had 3 to Hungary's 1. 15 total shots, as we said. Duels won. France won that handedly, 57-38. France leads every statistic except the one that matters because the two teams will be forced to share the points. Okay. Now we move to Munich. The second game of the day. Portugal versus Germany. I kind of began to rant on this one a little earlier, and now we've got the lineups. I'll start with Germany. Manuel Neuer in goal. 3 across the back in a 3-4-2-1. Matthias Ginter, Mats Hummels, and Antonio Rudiger. No surprises there. Joshua Kimmich and Robin Gosens are the 2 wingbacks. Gosens especially was a key man in this team today. But Kimmich was open just as much as Gosens was. It's just that they chose to attack down their left most of the time. The 2 in the center of midfield, Ilkay Gundogan, Manchester City, and Toni Kroos of Real Madrid. In front of them, you have Thomas Müller and Kai Havertz. And the striker alone up top is Serge Gnabry. Portugal unchanged from match day 1. Rui Patricio in goal, Nelson Semedo, Pepe, Ruben Dias, and Rafael Guerreiro in the back. William and Danilo as the holding midfielders. Again, on paper, this is a 4-2-3-1. Anyone that watched the match saw Portugal play a 4-3-3. And that's why we got roasted on the overload on both flanks, because these guys, Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva, played up with Ronaldo in the front 3. This was not a midfield 3. Okay. Which left a triangle in the middle of the 2 holding mids, Danilo and William, and Bruno Fernandes. Now, again, everybody's beating on Bruno Fernandes right now. But that is not the type of player he is. We saw France's lineup a few minutes ago. We talked about it. Bruno should be playing the same exact role for Portugal that Antoine Griezmann plays for France. He doesn't. He's playing with two holding midfielders, which means anything going forward out of the midfield is his responsibility. And once the ball is lost, he's expected to retreat. He's expected to fill in and play as a true midfielder and not as an attacking midfielder, which is what he normally does, which is what he is very good at. Again, Bernardo Silva, Diogo Jota, and Cristiano Ronaldo in the attack. And again, I cannot have any complaints. I don't want to hear anymore how this team is better with Cristiano Ronaldo or without Cristiano Ronaldo. Without him today, this match is a 4-0 loss or worse. Now, Bernardo Silva gets a lot of credit for that first goal. I guess we can start there, the first goal. Actually, before we get the first goal is a key match. Germany tease what they're going to do this match, okay? The ball gets knocked out wide to Kimmich. Kimmich drills a diagonal cross to the far post, just out of the reach of Serge Gnabry. And it's a good thing that he went for this because he was offside, and had he not tried to play this, it would have been right on to the foot of Robin Gosens at the far post, and Robin Gosens would have made it 1-0 then. He would have made it 1-0 right there and then inside of the first 10 minutes. In fact, it looks to be a goal. It was in the 5th minute. Let me get you now. Originally called a goal, but it goes to the VAR. Muller looks to have handled the ball in the midfield, but referee Taylor plays on. Mark Clattenburg on ESPN explained that this is not handling the ball under this new interpretation. Okay, this was a natural and unintentional motion where Thomas Mueller's arm is holding up his body weight on the ground and the ball hits him. And it's through the succession of play then that the ball finds its way to Kimmich, who whips the cross to the far post, and it gets on the foot of Gosens, and it looked to be 1-0 to Germany. Fortunately, on the VAR, they find Gnabry offside. Okay, Gnabry, good thing he made a play on this, because if he had just stood still and let it go by him, it'd have been 1-0 to Germany that much earlier. Portugal evade danger there and evade disaster, in my opinion. But this match was so reminiscent for me of that World Cup 2014 match in Bahia in Brazil. So reminiscent, with the one notable or two notable exceptions, and that is that Portugal got 2 goals of their own this time, and Portugal finished with 11 men and not 9. But Germany knows how to score on Portugal. This was a well-studied opponent. Okay, they were well-scouted. They were well-prepared. Say what you want about Jogi Löw. He had his team well-prepared for this match. And maybe it's the way he's always played against Portugal. In fact, he's undefeated against Portugal. 4 wins, 4 matches, official matches, 4 victories. Okay, 4 official matches, 4 victories for Jogi Löw versus Portugal. Going back to 2006 in that 3rd place match at the World Cup. 2006, 3-1 to Germany in the 3rd place game. 2008, 2-1 to Germany. Might have even been 3-1 in the group stage of Euro 2012 of Euro 2012. World Cup 2014, 4-0 to Germany. Today, 4 more goals for Germany. But on this one, the VAR rules it. But Portugal looked dead from the start. I don't know what they did as a warm-up routine today. I don't know what they ate this morning. I know it was almost 90 degrees, but it's 90 degrees for both teams. They're the ones that looked like they had lead in their legs, while the German side looked fresh, looked eager, looked like they believed in themselves. And they came out to play. They knew their backs were against the wall. I guess I underestimated the fact that Germany's backs were against the wall. I overestimated Portugal's ability to sit deep absorb pressure, and hit the counter. Clearly. One big reason is because Germany understands how to completely bypass the holding midfield, the double holding mid. And at that point, this goal that was called back from VAR should have sent a message to Fernando Santos that he has to make an adjustment. He should have seen that ball is going to be there all day, that diagonal ball over Nelson Semedo's head to a wide open wing back in behind him, because all day Nelson Semedo is being pulled on the shift inside to pick up a man on Pep's back, okay? Everybody's beating up Nelson Semedo on this one, and he didn't have a good game, don't get me wrong, but this was a system error because he continued to do it all match because he was told to continue to do it, to continue to shift, that the dangerous guy is central. The problem in this system of play, in this formation, Bernardo Silva is not the outside midfielder that's going to go up and down the line picking up the wingback whenever Nelson Semedo gets pulled inside. In fact, like I said, he spent most of his time, both him and Jota, in the attacking end, playing close to Cristiano Ronaldo, leaving a absolute freeway, an autobahn, if you will, in reference to Germany, a complete autobahn on both flanks for Germany to exploit. They went down their left all day. They went to Gosens. Okay, they picked on Nelson Semedo, but trust me when I say that the same exact play was open on the left all match, on the right, on our left, on Germany's right. Germany recognized that Portugal have two wingbacks who are not very good defensively or are not naturally defensive backs. Why I said maybe a three-man backline would be better, well, that's a more natural role for both of those wingbacks. And you'd have some help on the outside of the defense to step wide and try to break that down. But there were no adjustments made all match. He just changed personnel. He just changed names on the sheet. It looked like Fernando Santos was just throwing mud on the wall to see what would stick, and I expect a lot more from such an experienced manager. And I am saying this as somebody who has come to his defense many times in the past 6 years that he's been in charge, okay? I said last night he gets more decisions right than he gets wrong, but today he made me look like a fool for saying that, because today he got everything wrong, in my opinion, until the very end. Now, I also have a mounting annoyance with a lot of my own people, if you will, with Portugal fans that really like to be vocal, but haven't. I don't think they understand anything about international football. I see people trying to point out that it's as easy as a man marking Gosens. This is international football. Nobody is playing 11 versus 11 man marking on the entire pitch. Okay? This is not the Brasileirão, and I love the Brasileirão, but this is not how they play in the Euro. You're not playing on your JV high school team here. Okay? It's a little more complex than that. The problem was the shift. And everybody who's played this game at any level knows when you play with a flat back four, okay, the key is that there is shifting from side to side. When you shift, the outside mid has to slide in here. This did not happen once today. And it didn't matter who he put there, because guess what? He picked a team that does not have that type of player on the roster. He's got too many of the same types of player because he just picked the 23 or 26 best players. That is upsetting. And then Fernando Santos wants to come to the post game and say that nothing they did surprised them. Oh, really? Why was there not one adjustment made to the one major problem we were having? Danilo's I'll put this up. Okay, first problem was playing with these two holding mids, okay? Danilo and William, both slow as molasses. That's why they play holding mid. Have nobody to either side of them, and now they're responsible for covering touchline to touchline. And again, Germany recognizes that right away, and they just bypass them. They go over them. What were we expecting? We were expecting them to be like Spain and try to connect 896 passes in the first half and try to make sure everybody on the pitch touches the ball 10 times before we take a shot. Of course not. This is not Spain. This is Germany. Deutschland. They don't mess around. They don't waste movements. They don't waste passes. They don't waste touches. We get lucky, though. We get the break that we're looking for. We absorb the pressure in the first 15 minutes. Okay? And it comes in minute 15. Off a Germany corner, no less. And this is what I was hoping for. This is what I said last night. I was predicting the first 15 minutes played out almost to a T as I saw it. With the exception of the fact that Portugal had lead in their feet and couldn't move. I thought they were going to wake up after this because they do well to clear the corner. Germany sends everybody in. Bernardo takes that ball. He takes it about 65, 70 yards. 60 meters, whatever unit of measurement you want to use, on his left foot. And at the precise moment that it needed to be delivered, he delivers a perfect ball diagonally on to the chest of Diogo Jota. And up to this point, Diogo Jota was yet to take a proper touch. Every time he had touched the ball to this point, he had lost it. But you know what? When it meant most in front of goal, he brought it down on his chest, and as the shot was being closed down, he makes the heads-up play. He looks to his right. He sees Ronaldo open and onside. Diogo Jota slides it. Cristiano Ronaldo puts it into the back of the goal. His 12th career Euro goal, his 107th career international goal. And this should have been the springboard to control the rest of the match. We saw how France controlled Germany in match day 1 without having the ball. Portugal should have been able to do that. I'm rethinking the fact that perhaps they're not good enough defensively to do that. They, again, and it's a problem in the midfield. It's not Nelson Semedo or Rafael Guerrero. It is a problem that they're not it's an intentional overload that the Germans are sending down the flank, making these outside backs decide which player is more dangerous and just simply going to the other player, to the one that gets remained open. But Portugal go first. Ronaldo rises the highest head above Cruz's corner. So Ronaldo makes the original win of the ball. And this is why he's the best player in the world for me. This is what the other guy does not do and cannot do. Okay? He does not, I'm not going to mention names, but he does not go and defend a corner, win it in the air above everybody else, and then sprint 80 yards to the other end to put home the goal. No, he stays much higher up the pitch. And he stays much more in one area and plays much more with one foot, does not have an aerial game. And this is why, for me, still at 36 years old right now, the best player in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo. Not by the margin it used to be. Listen, Mbappe is closing that gap, okay? He's closing it. He's about to catch him and pass him. But right now, in this moment, in this window, Ronnie's still a little bit ahead, okay? And this was again, this is how a captain shows up for big games. I don't want to hear it anymore, how Portugal is supposedly better without him. Okay, very well could have been down 1-0 right here if he's not in the lineup. Because nobody ever gives this man the credit he deserves for what he does on the defensive end. Oh, you're all watching when he ducks and he's in the wall. Yeah, everybody's watching then. But nobody has anything to say when he's the one in the middle of the box, rising higher than anyone else at 36 years old, out jumping guys 10, 12, 14 years younger than him. And then sprinting down the pitch, not running, sprinting down the pitch to put himself in position to score his 107th goal. And if you want to call him Penaldo, how many penalty kicks have been missed in this tournament? You think it's that easy? You think it's that easy to convert penalty kicks? Let this tournament show you. So it's 1-0 to Portugal, right? Assist for Diogo Jota. And as I said, it's his first good touch of the game. But you know what? I'll take it. You can lose 50 balls. If when you're in front of goal, it ends up in the goal. To me, I don't care if you get the assist or the goal. If that ball goes in and we have one, I don't care who scored it, and I don't care who is. I don't care if you scored or assisted. That is production. No, absolutely not, Leo. Dalot should be sent back to Milan. Dalot is garbage. He should not be in this team. I know he's the only one that's fit because he was at the under-21s, but he was roasted in the under-21s. And for those of you listening on the podcast, you don't know what I'm flipping out about. There's a comment here saying to get Semedo out. I just explained how it is the midfield. Semedo's making the right play. He's stepping, he is shifting in like he's supposed to. That ball's going over his head, and Bernardo Silva's nowhere to be found because that's not the type of player he is. He should not be put in that position. This match should have been a traditional 4-4-2 with an outside midfielder to cover that wide channel. Now, Diogo Dalot, as far as I'm concerned, send him home. We'll go without him. Honestly, he can't defend worth his life. I have no place for him in this team. The under-21s, he was absolutely roasted by Italy. He was roasted by Spain and roasted in the final by Germany's U21s. What do you think Germany's full first team is going to do? What do you think Gosens is going to do to him on that side? Come on, he's going to skin him alive. We're going to move ahead. Doesn't take long, though. Portugal unable to keep this lead. They get a chance, though, to double it here as they go short from the corner in the 23rd. Guerrero aims for the far post with his left-footed cross. Diaz escapes the attentions of his marker, but can't head it past Neuer. In fact, he can't even get it back to a teammate. Kind of gets in. Him and Ronaldo kind of get in each other's way. There seemed to be a lack of communication there. And nobody's trailing either to get on the end of it. Unfortunately, could have been a much different game if that happens. But let's get to the beginning of the meltdown, why don't we? We'll go ahead to the 35th. And again, I talked about this the other night with Fades when France was playing Germany. Okay? I talked about it. Hernandez gets it on that goal. Hernandez gets in behind. Pogba hits a ball on an absolute rope. Okay? The key with those, and Germany did this all day today, and Portugal never adjusted. They never adjusted the midfield to prevent this. What happens? You force your back line to turn because the ball's going over their head. Suddenly, your defenders are all facing their goal. And just like Hernandez did to Germany, blasts it across the face of goal. Max Hummels can't deal with it because he just doesn't have time to put his body in position. And on that night, Max Hummels puts it into his own goal today. Ruben Dias's turn. Brilliant play here by Gosens. His volley is struck perfectly. When that ball is coming in, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's not looking for a teammate. He knows they're running. He doesn't even care if he finds his teammate. He's trying to hit anything in front of goal. And he's trying so that it gets redirected at goal. Again, you know the defenders have had to turn, face their own goal, and they're running towards their own goal to get in position. What happens when you can't get out of the way of the ball and you are running towards your own goal? Guess where it's going once it hits you? That's what happens here. Diaz puts it in his own goal. But you know what? If he doesn't do that, it's a tap-in for Gnabry. So it's an own goal, but it's not an own goal because If the defender is not there to do that, it's a tap in and it's an easy goal for Germany. So credit to Germany here. Credit to Germany. Very good goal and a great bit of skill to just sidewind and volley that ball hard. I mean, he struck it perfectly. Gosens did 1-1, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna have to hold this till halftime. Okay, 1-1 is okay. I didn't expect to keep the clean sheet against Germany. 1-1 is okay, but it lasted all of 4 minutes as Rudiger rolls through to Gosens. Again, this VAR, he looks offside to me. I know they slowed it down. What I don't know is if that's the exact moment the ball left Rudiger's foot. They're not good at distinguishing that. This is where we need an improvement in VAR. I'm not saying this isn't a goal. I'm not saying this is an excuse. What I'm saying is this is where the VAR technology needs to improve. We need to do better. We need to have a better system in place to identify the precise moment that the ball leaves the passer's foot. Because once there's space between the passer's foot and the ball, guess what? It's already out. It doesn't matter. It's got to come back a frame or two or a frame and a half or two to the exact moment it leaves. It has the contact, is broken. We put all the time and focus. Nico Cantor said this on CBS. We take, and not today, he said this back during the Champions League. We put all this focus on where the runner is at the precise moment, right? We make a line. We calibrate a line. In Portugal, in their league, they even tell you the amount of centimeters that player is on or off. I don't trust anything in the Portuguese league as accurate, but I do trust this here in this tournament. So if UEFA's technology says he's on, I'm buying it. What I'm not so convinced about is, did they stop it at the precise moment that ball has a broken contact or lost contact with Antonio Rudiger's foot? This is something that needs to be looked at. Is it even possible to get that precise of a reading? I don't know. But 2-1 to Germany. Okay. He slides it across. It's a good ball. Kimmich is at the far post. He puts it back across goal, selfishly opts to square it. No, he didn't selfishly opt. It was the only option he had. Fatma was saying selfishly. He had no angle to shoot. He had to put it back across goal. And once again, what I just said, this ball has the defenders turning, facing their own goal, and running at pace towards their own goal. It's almost impossible to get out of a ball drilled at you from that close distance when you're running towards your own goal. It can only go in one place. It goes in. This is an earned own goal, just like the other one. 2-1. All right, 2-1 to Germany. And we go to halftime. Now, I'm expecting a substitution to address this problem of the overload. Germany is overloading the flanks. Fernando Santos brings on Renato Sanchez. That I'm fine with. What he should have done, if that's the player that's coming in, he should have replaced one of the two holding midfielders, preferably William, because William is not fit, okay? He has played very little this year, and he's slow to begin with, and they're just bypassing him anyway. Why are we still holding with two holding midfielders when Germany has figured out how to quickly just skip over them? It should have been Renato coming in, making a diamond. Instead, Renato replaces Bernardo Silva, who gets 3/4 of that first goal, who does the hard work of carrying the ball. Well, I have to give Ronaldo 3/4. Okay, so the two of them, get a big portion of that goal because Ronaldo wins it in the area. Bernardo runs the length of the pitch with it and then plays the precise ball into Jota. But again, not this. This is the second game in a row that I think Santos has made a mistake in taking out Bernardo Silva rather than adjusting his role. Getting blue in the face with this. These coaches need to start thinking and stop just thinking that the substitution is the only answer. He's just not put in a place to succeed playing in this system wide on the right against a team where we need to defend a lot more than we need to attack. We want to let's think about this for a second. He sent the team out to play defensively first, okay? From the first minute they went out to defend and to play safe, which backfired because they didn't do that, because Germany was able to quickly just turn them around and turn the game on its head. But he's got no fewer than 6 attack-minded players on the pitch. How are you going to hold it in? How are you going to hold it in with and close down lines and sit in deep when you have all these attacking players? This was just not well planned, okay? He could have played this way with a couple of minor adjustments. He didn't do that. Well, Renato comes in, and he's going to get blamed for the third goal here, which comes pretty early, 51st minute. Again, Semedo gets pulled inside. He did what he's supposed to do. In this system, that's what he's supposed to do. If you don't like it, it's a system issue. It's not a Semedo issue. Now, I'm not saying he played perfectly, but when it came to the shift, he shifted as he should. Renato is not an outside midfielder. He's very much a central midfielder. And he was confused, and he didn't pick up the outside back. And what also happened is because Portugal couldn't come out today, they gave Germany no reason to believe that their outside backs can't come up at will all day because there was nothing in behind them to defend. The ball goes to Gosens again, powers forward. He drives a low cross across the face of goal. And, of course, it's Kai Havertz who gets the positioning and touches it past Rui Patricio. 3-1 to Germany. Another assist for Gosens. That's 2 assists. He speeds down the left-hand side again to latch onto Mueller's pass. The left wing back slams a low cross. I love his crosses because they're low and hard. They're not looping to the far post so that you have to jump, wait in the air for 3 seconds, and then you're heading it on the way down on your descent. No, it was a nice, hard-driven pass. And then another substitution in the 58th minute. Rafa comes on, replaces William. Too late for me. It's 3-1 already. And this is a little bit of Santos just doing the same thing he did against Hungary. This match called for something different. They needed some control in midfield. They didn't get it. And guess what? 60th minute. This time it's Kimmich down the right. He gets his pass from Havertz. With acres of space in front of him. He's coming down Rafael Guerrero's side this time. Head up down the right channel. He does so as he looks and crosses to the far post. And there's Gosens again, arriving late at the far post to power a header into the top left. And Semedo gestures that someone else should have been picking up the left wing back. Yes, that's correct. Okay, that is 100% correct. Again. Now, this is going to get me some flack from some of you because you disagree. That's fine. But I'm telling you, in this system, he did it all game because that's what he's supposed to do. If you don't like the system, that's one thing. To say that he's not, to say that he's making the wrong decision. No, he is playing the system that he's been placed in. Gosens gets a goal, so he is easily the man of the match today. Joshua Kimmich with a nice assist. Now, Marcel Hasselberg comes on for Gosens in the 62nd. That's it. Emre Can comes on for Mats Hummels. And João Moutinho comes on for Bruno Fernandes. And for all the Portugal fans shaking their head, João Moutinho added something to this team. He is the only one that goes in there and that completes passes efficiently. He makes the safer passes. He plays simple. Exactly what Portugal needed. I have no problem with João Moutinho in this team. I would have preferred Ruben Neves comes in this situation, but I have no issue with what João Moutinho did in this match. Okay, I've said it before. I like him much better now than I did 8 years ago. I think he brings much more to the table as an older player with better vision and more simplicity. Okay. Don't tell me about his age. Watch what he does. Watch the passes he picks out. Watch the spaces he covers. Portugal start to get some control here when João Moutinho come on. Renato Sanchez has a chance. And then in the 67th, it is Portugal pull one back after Ronaldo is fouled. The free kick is played by Moutinho to the far post. Ronaldo doesn't give up on it, okay? This is talking about converting a half a chance. Ronaldo does not give up on this one. He gets to it just before it goes over the byline and manages to pop it back over Neuer towards the goal. And Diogo Jota, who has not had good play in these two matches, however, has been productive. I'll take it. He gets on the end of it and he puts it into the net. It's 4-2. This goal could be the difference on Wednesday, because Portugal go from a 0 goal difference to a +1 here, which may make all the difference in the world on Wednesday. A few minutes later, Renato Sanchez hits the post with an absolute rocket. Okay. Had he made it 4-3, who knows? But Portugal, in the end, I get very frustrated because they and I think the Moutinho substitution in part was to stop the bleeding and to control some of the game. I do think Santos made this substitution not to get back into this game, but to keep it and to keep a even or positive goal difference. Goal difference is playing into the minds of these coaches. There's no question about it. Portugal pull one back, okay, and they're not really pressing. Closing moments, they're in no hurry to go forward. It looks like they're going to be happy to only lose by 2. I sort of get it. It's tough for a fan to see that, but I get it. They could have easily lost by 4 or 5 today and been in a much worse situation. So they're gonna take their wounds and they're gonna go home with what they got. Match ends 4-2 to Germany. Well done to Germany. I'm gonna say I said that they were dangerous and that I respect them, and this is why. Look at that. They even went down and they're not phased. They were facing elimination and they were not phased. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break here. Okay, and be right back to touch on Spain versus Poland. Okay, before we call it another night, and we will also take a quick look at what's going on tomorrow. I know we've been going for an hour. I'll be right back to wrap this up. Okay, one match to talk about and a little bit about tomorrow. And then for those of you on the podcast, you'll get a bonus segment covering Copa America match day 2 that went down Thursday and Friday. All right, this is the Parking the Bus podcast here on the PTB Media Network. Don't forget to follow the show on the social media at PTB_media. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. There's also a Facebook group if you search for it, Parking the Bus. And don't forget to go over to the website, www.parkingthebusmedia.com. If you've missed any episodes, right in the front, the first thing you will see when you scroll down is the playlist. Okay, so you can just scroll through all 9 episodes right there. Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Parking the Bus, episode 50. Okay, let's move on now. Let's go to the final match of the day. And we are in Seville, in Spain, in Sevilla. Spain versus Poland. And it is a group E matchup. Okay, we already know that Sweden lead the group. And let's look at the lineups. We'll start with Poland, managed by Paulo Sousa, of course. Szczesny is in goal. 3-4-2-1 their formation. Berezinski on the right. Glick in the center with Jan Bedernach on the left. The wingbacks are Kamil Joziwak and Timo Pukac. Mateusz Klich and Jakub Moder are the center midfielders with Karol Swiderski and Peter Zielinski in the attacking midfield roles behind the captain, Robert Lewandowski. For España, how'd you like that Spanish pronunciation there, just like they do in Spain? España. They've got Unai Simon in goal. They're playing 4-3-3. Marcos Llorente is the right back. Laporte and Pau Torres in the center. Jordi Alba, the left back and the captain. 3 in midfield. Rodri in the center. Koke to his right. Pedri to his left. And in attack, it is Alvaro Morata in the center. Gerard Moreno to his left. Daniel Olmo to his right. I'm pretty sure there is no change in this team either from match day 1 against Sweden. Now, we got, again, we're going to expect Spain to have the ball, right? I debated whether or not to take a nap during this one because it was very possible we were going, and I'm joking, but it was debatable whether or not we were going to get another match where we just get an insane amount of complete passes, lateral, sideways, backwards, slow, prodding. Now, well, only 76% possession for Spain today. Okay, only 76%. They do manage to force 12 shots today. 8 chances created, 5 of them big chances. Only 623 passes completed to Poland's 128. Which team do you... I would like to hear from listeners. Which team would you rather be in this match, this exact match? Would you rather be Poland here and go home 1-1, having been much more efficient, or would you rather be Spain and holding your head high about how much possession you had? Choice is completely yours. There's no right or wrong answer. You guys know how I feel about it and who I'd rather be. And Spain playing at home, of course, a lot of pressure on Luis Enrique. I'm not sure he's up for the job, to be honest with you. I'm not sure Luis Enrique is up for this job. Just not the... Again, I just spent, 45 minutes, 35 minutes or whatever, pounding Fernando Santos for his lack of awareness and lack of ability to read the match. Luis Enrique believes that this team played well against Sweden. The Spanish media thinks that their team played well. They believe, Guillem Balaguer is a reporter I respect and whose opinion I hold high, and he thinks they're playing well enough to go to the semifinal and that the goals are just going to start to come. Well, Enrique makes one change, so I'm corrected. He makes only one change to his side from La Roja's draw against Sweden. Gerard comes into the starting lineup, that's right, in the final third to replace Fernan Torres, who drops to the bench. The Spain boss keeps his faith in Morata through the middle of the attack, along with Olmo on the left flank. Pedri retains his spot ahead of Thiago. Poland made 3 changes to their side from their defeat to Slovakia. Krychowiak 8 of their 10 matches against Poland, with the other 2 being a loss and a draw. The sole Polish victory taking place over 40 years ago in Barcelona in a friendly. So pass, 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 pass. Okay, after about all those minutes of passes, Spain does get on the board in the 25th minute, and it is Alvaro Morata. And he must have felt relieved. He must have felt like absolutely shushing his own fans, his own critics. The offside, originally called offside by the referee, but it is overturned. Morata scores 1-0 to Spain. He gets his side off the mark in the tournament with a close range finish. Gerard is the architect as he cuts inside from the right flank, fires a low ball towards the 6-yard box. Morata breaks in behind Berezinski and slots the strike past Chesney from close range. Very good assist for Gerard Moreno. And Spain, however, miss out on a chance to double their lead. And Swiderski has a chance here in the 35th, and he has to score. Lewandowski causes problems down the right flank, but cannot find room for a strike. Instead, he lifts across to the near post for Swiderski to attack. The winger goes in with his boot rather than his head and steers his effort over the bar. Mateusz Klich sees a yellow card in the 36th for a late challenge on Pedri. 43rd minute, Poland come inches away from an equalizer. Jozwiak robs Alba of possession, and the ball finds Swiderski. He beats the challenge of Torres and curls a strike towards goal that rattles the left post. Lewandowski pounces on the rebound and hammers the effort towards the net, only to be denied by a great block from Unai Simon. And before the half ends, Gerard spurns a glorious opening before the break. Alba sends a dangerous cross towards the near post, where Gerard steers a left-footed strike towards goal, but he can only place his attempt wide of the target. Second half, and it's a Spain lead Poland 1-0 at the break in their Group E clash. Alvaro Morata put La Roja ahead in the 25th minute, steering Gerard Moreno's delivery back into the net. The goal was initially disallowed for offside, as we said, only to be overturned by VAR. Poland could have responded before the break, but Karol Swiderski struck the post before Robert Lewandowski was denied on the rebound. Spain could have doubled their advantage right before the break, but Gerard Moreno fired wide from close range. Luis Enrique will be satisfied with their performance, although he recognizes the threat of Poland, especially with Lewandowski lurking in the final third. Remember the name, Robert Lewandowski. And it doesn't take long, my friends. 54th minute, 10 minutes, and just under 10 minutes into the half. And it is Lewandowski rising higher than three Spain defenders. And he comes to their rescue with a powerful header to the bottom left corner. And the press from Sousa's men works, and they win the ball in the middle of the park. Jozwiak takes possession down the right flank, delivers a precise cross into the middle. Lewandowski outduels Laporte and company, and he nods his effort past Unai Simon 1-1. Great assist for Jozwiak. Jozwiak, yeah. He collects it on the right flank and delivers a sublime cross. Couple substitutions here is it's a 55th minute, actually. One substitution. Kozlowski enters to replace Klich, becoming the youngest player ever to appear at a Euros, and that is because he is 17 years old, not 18, until October the 16th. And 2 minutes later, we have a VAR check, 2 minutes later, we have a VAR check. And this was demoralizing for me, thinking that they're going to give this penalty and Spain are going to go back ahead. And the VAR spots that Gerard is caught late by Moder as he clips the cross into the box. The referee is instructed to look at the monitor at the side of the pitch. And after reviewing the incident, the referee awards the spot kick. Yellow card to Jakob Moder for his challenge. Gerard Moreno steps up, actually takes a good penalty. This is well done. It's just pushed a little too far wide, and it slams off of the post. He comes right to Alvaro Morata with the goal wide open. but the Juventus man can't hit the frame. He redirects it high and wide. It remains 1-1, demoralizing for Spain at that point. Luis Enrique goes to the bench. On comes Fernan Torres. Off goes Daniel Olmo. And it's Kozlowski's exact age is 17 years, 246 days, becoming the youngest player ever to play at the European Championships, overtaking Jude Bellingham, who set the record 6 days ago. Poor Jude Bellingham. You guys know how much I like that player because I said that yesterday. Okay, so Morata makes a good run in the 65th into the right inside channel to latch onto Gerard's pass. He strikes the effort past the face of goal, but Chesney has to turn left and push it past the post. Spain have issued a strong reaction since Poland's equalizer, despite the penalty miss, and it's all about composure right now from both teams. Substitution for Paulo Sousa. On comes Frankowski. Off goes Swiderski. And Spain also with the pair of substitutions. Off comes Gerard Moreno. On comes Fabian, as well as Pablo Sarabia comes on to replace Koke. Spain know they need the win. Fernan Torres has a free header in the 73rd. He latches onto Llorente's cross, but can only steer his attempt wide of the target. And this is not Spain's strength. Okay, the way they play, if they have the lead, they're going to be very hard to come back against. It's a big compliment to Poland that they got back in this match and that they managed to equalize once going down, because when a team like Spain, who focuses so heavily on that possession, that becomes a weapon when you have the lead, because all of a sudden it becomes so hard to get the ball back. But now with it 1-1, it's a lot harder for Spain to find that second goal. Pau Torres will go in the book in the 81st. He catches Lewandowski with the stray arm. Spain denied again by Chesney in the 83rd. Alba flicks a ball into the box, and Sarabia cushions it into the path of Morata. But the keeper spreads himself and denies the Juventus forward, and Fernan Torres will pounce on the rebound, but the Manchester City forward will clip his effort over the bar. On comes Pavel Davidovic. He will replace Jan Bedernach. And, of course, Davidovic, as you may or may not know, is the former Benfica B defender, interestingly enough. Once again, a player who comes through my club who can't get into the first team. And just like Brian Cristante is now playing in the World Cup, in the European Championships, just a few years later. Carol Lanetti also comes on. He replaces Jakub Moder, who's on a yellow card. Mikel Oyarzabal replaces Alvaro Morata for Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique only makes like-for-like substitutions. It's a real weakness in his game, besides the fact that he's overly reliant on a system of play that's not as effective as it used to be. A system of play that teams have figured out how to play against, and most importantly, a system of play that is lacking one real key component, which is a finisher that scores with great efficiency. A finisher that scores with great efficiency. Because if you don't get goals, you don't win. You can have the ball for hours if you want. Again, Poland doing a fine job taking the sting out of the game. They're closing in on a vital result here, as the Poles will leave their last 16 hopes alive. Lewandowski goes in the book after catching Laporte with an outstretched leg. Late 90th +3. Ruiz sends a ball to the left flank for Alba in the 90th +4, who steers across into the box. Lanetti's the first man there, and he clears danger. Rodri trips Kozlowski, goes in the book in 90 +4, 90 +5. The whistle blows, and that is full time. Spain and Poland play out to a 1-1 draw in their Group E contest. Lewandowski canceled out Morata's first half strike, and it keeps Paulo Sousa's men alive in the competition heading into the final match day. La Roja are held for the second game in a row and still have work ahead of them to ensure they can qualify for a place in the last 16. Spain face a tough test against Slovakia in the final Group A Group E, game in Seville on Wednesday. Poland take on Sweden in St. Petersburg at the same day, same time, and they will battle for a place in the knockout stages. All right, that is today's matches. The tables, okay, I should have said this when we finished the Group F matches, but the table in Group F, you probably see it there on the bottom. It's scrolled through the duration of this episode. But for those of you on the podcast that don't have the video element, France, top of the group on 4 points, plus 1 goal difference. France, Germany, and Portugal all on a plus 1 goal difference. Germany second right now with 3 points, obviously leading the head-to-head over Portugal after having beaten them today. Portugal third on 3 points with 1 point. Hungary fourth, 1 point, but the worst for them is that they have a -3 goal difference. Okay, Group E looks like this. Okay, and it just went by your screen for those of you watching, but I'll read it again. Like I said, for those who are listening to the podcast, Sweden tops the group with 4 points. Slovakia are second with 3. Spain have 2, and Poland have 1. All right, tomorrow's matches, only 2 matches tomorrow. They're both at noon here on the East Coast of the United States. It's Italy versus Wales in Rome and Switzerland versus Turkey in Baku. Okay, both games kicking off at noon here on the East Coast of the United States, 9 Pacific. Italy and Wales, I'm interested to see if Roberto Mancini is going to continue to play with the same players or if he's going to have some squad rotation. I believe, I don't expect to see Chiellini. He came off injured last match. Let's see if they have a diagnosis for him. I don't believe we have a full diagnosis, but we have Francesco Acerbi is expected to start. And let's see here. Chiellini has a hamstring injury. He's doubtful. Alessandro Florenzi has a calf injury. He's doubtful. I imagine anybody for Italy on a yellow card is not going to be risked tomorrow. Wales have it all to play for, obviously. Wales have 4 points, another point, and they're going to be sitting golden right now. As it stands, they are second on 4 points. So, yeah, one point will actually guarantee them second place. They're pretty much a lock to advance right now. They got 4 points with a with a plus 2 goal difference. So from a Portugal standpoint, I'm hoping that they lose 2-0 or more so that goal difference drops to 0 or below so that Portugal can then be ahead of them if Wales were to drop to third place. That would only happen, of course, if Switzerland or Turkey produces a winner. Okay, if Switzerland wins by more goals, Switzerland have a -3 goal difference, so they have to win by more goals, essentially, than Wales lose by if they want to take second place. But I like that Switzerland right now have 1 point and that they have a -3 goal difference. So I'm pulling for a draw in Switzerland, Turkey, so that neither one of them get to 4 points or even to 3 points. That's what I'm hoping for. If somebody wins, I hope it's Turkey because they have a far inferior goal difference. I'm going to go with Italy to win, and I'm going to go with a draw in the Switzerland-Turkey match. Those are my predictions, maybe just because it's just what I want to see. That's going to do it for this episode. For those of you watching the live stream, thank you for joining me again, as you have every night on Periscope, on YouTube, on Facebook, okay? Periscope through Twitter, of course. Don't forget, follow PTB_media. Go to the YouTube page, hit subscribe for me, please. I need the subscribers. Hit the bell. We've had great numbers on Periscope, but I need to get some of that traffic over to YouTube, okay? And of course, hit up www.parkingthebusmedia.com. That's going to do it. This is the Mr. Mike Agustinu. Thank you for hanging with me all night tonight, this Saturday night. And I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Okay? With a roundup of tomorrow's 2 matches and a look ahead to Monday. All right, that's going to do it. If you're listening to the podcast, enjoy the Copa America coverage coming your way right after this break. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.